Hello everyone, this is Shooter Fantasy, and this is Quality Assurance. And today, well, we're looking at Kingdom Hearts 3. So, basically what I'm going to do is, the basic concept is I'm a game developer, not of this game, but I make games, and I'm basically going to check this game out, and find bugs, or things that are just weird. So let's get started. Usually I like to check out indie games or fan games, since those projects are usually those projects need QA a lot more. It's not often you can get someone who can go and break your project and find bugs for you. We're going to start with Twilight Town here. There's a few things. So we got wall running, right? We can run up walls, and if we try to go up these fences, we obviously can't. There's some kind of... There is a boundary, and so there's some stuff I can let slide. But just where they decide to put the boundary is kind of weird. It's like... Okay, so obviously here they want to kind of block you from getting over there. But then we've got over here where, I mean, should there really be a boundary here? And in fact, if I'm trying to glide, why can't I glide over these buildings? Like, the way I see it, this should still be the same general area, right? Like, all we've got here is a collider in front of us. And I'm not sure how much more... I don't think it would have been that much more work to just have a collider on top of this building for us to land on. If we try to go over this, we can't do that either. Here we've got the same thing. Like, to be fair, for most of the game, you do not have the ability to glide. So, but even this feels kind of weird. We run up, right? And you'd think, you know, I should be able to actually land on the top of that roof. But it's like, no. We've got an invisible wall here. We don't want you landing on that roof. But then I can land on this roof. And we can go on this roof section here. This roof section, we can like go all the way up here. If I start to fly this way, and go over to like, I can't, it just feels weird that you can't actually fly over that. I've got other opinions about this game. But I might save that for like a different video. But I'll just say, like, this Twilight Town also is a lot more... Again, this is just something else. This isn't, like, something that's game-breaking. But just the fact that it doesn't really feel like Twilight Town was really all that fleshed out in Kingdom Hearts 3. Like, I see this area here, and I remember it from Kingdom Hearts 2, and it's like... You know, I want to run up here. I want to see the rest of Twilight Town. But it's like, oh, return to world map. It's like, what? But I can see right over there. I want to go over there. I want to go up to the train station. To be fair, there's not a lot of story that happens in this area. Like, there is a story, but I guess since there wasn't any story that had to take place by the train station or anywhere, that stuff was not added to the game. But anywho, I digress. Let's get on to more stuff. So, I guess this is just with the glide now, but you've got these walls we can run up, right? And you walk up to, and that triggers being able to walk up it, right? But if we glide into the wall, or into the surface, we just kinda run into it. That's it. just keep running into it. You just don't try to walk up it or anything. And I almost feel like this should almost just seamlessly transition. Like, if you're hitting a wall you can run up, you should just start to run up it. Because obviously the player's trying to get to that area. They wouldn't be flying into it if they didn't want to run up it. Maybe a scenario where that... I don't know, is there a scenario that might be the case? We try brushing up to it from this... Well, I mean... But can we really hit it from the side? No. Like, if we're directly trying to fly into it, it should just seamlessly fly us into running up it. Now, if I fly into it and I let go of the button, then we start to actually run up it. But actually, you know what, this is one of those interesting things though, where the player can correct it themselves by letting go of the button. But, I don't know, maybe you guys have a thought on that. Like, I feel like if I'm holding the glide button and I hit this, I should be able to run up anyway. But the player can just let go of the button to make that happen. Flying around this small chunk of area and just seeing how vast this area is kind of just makes me sad that Twilight Town didn't get the same treatment. Well, that's interesting. I mean, Sora's magical and all, but the way he just swings around a column that's that large is interesting. And invisible walls always still feel awkward. I'm supposed to be gliding forward, but now it just looks like we're suspended in midair. Like, this just doesn't look or feel natural. And technically I'm also within the map. Why not let me fly through? Now the only way to go through is I gotta drop down. And then... Actually, I guess that makes sense, actually. Well, I don't know. It's tough. Like... There's gotta be a solution to invisible walls that just doesn't feel so weird. At the same time, I don't know, maybe the glide ability just kinda makes stuff like that a lot more prevalent. Yeah, so we're in Toy Box now. And I was actually kind of impressed with this world. There's items in here that are interactive, like you see a ball, I can hop on it. I can like roll my ball around. Woody, Ham, and everyone else. Hey, that make noise. I can go up here. We can like smack this globe around to make it spin. If we hop in the bed, it actually compresses under our feet, like actual fabric. Like they put this much detail into the bedroom. If I hop in the pillow, it kind of deflates a little less, but you'll notice that like if I go on it or Goofy or Donald goes on there and then they walk off it, you can see that the pillow compresses as well. And then even this chair over here, you hop on, and even this compresses under Sora's feet. And then you can like look into like...
I think that's a lucky emblem.
Yeah, I don't know where that emblem is. But anyway, like scissors, all that stuff. Oh, interesting. We're trying to fly in between the books. And I guess how these colliders are set up, sort of interesting. So this, yeah, it seems like they put a lot more effort into the collision here. But this glide ability really does, I guess, expose a lot of issues. I can't fly in between shelves. And you kind of have this weird stuff happen if you try to glide into it. This would just be... This video might be titled a bunch of bugs that the gliding ability causes. And they're not major ones, I mean, but it's like... just visual stuff. So now we've got Galaxy toys here. You got like mechs. I can hop into this. Well, even the like the area is destructible. Heck, I think this area might be bigger than Twilight Town. So these areas for the different movies that this game's trying to capture seem to be pretty well detailed. Like, this definitely looks like the area from the movie, which is nice. And here, there's a little less jankiness that goes on. Like, these walls are really high up, so you don't really need invisible walls to keep you from going out of bounds. And the collision seems to be accurate enough, I guess. The geometry. I like how the music just skips every time a new bunch of enemies pops up. It's like I'm moving faster than the audio system's expecting by gliding.
Hope we find some ingredients around here.
Ingredients, ingredients, ingredients. Now you know, there's a reason why these guys keep saying all this stuff. Like, ooh, ingredients, oh, there's a secret. I guess that's to let the player know that they're nearby something, because otherwise maybe the player wouldn't find any of that stuff. But for myself personally, because I care about none of that stuff, it just comes off as annoying after a while. I can see why they added it in, because they're like, well, what about for the people who are interested in that stuff, maybe they want to know if they're nearby what we want them to grab. But I should actually see if there's a way to mute that feature, because, well, I can see why they put it in. I could care less about ingredients and other stuff. One thing I haven't talked about yet is, while we can move the camera around, most of the time I'm finding I don't actually have to touch it at all. Like, the camera seems to do a good enough job where I can move the player around, and the camera just naturally manages to find the correct orientation always. Like, if I can actually just walk around with one stick, and the game just rotates the camera for me. I think this is one thing maybe some people may take for granted, where if I want to specifically look at something, I can take control of it, but 99.9% of the time it's like you don't have to use it. Alright, so there's some stuff I want to critique with this area. When driving the gummy ship, there was like one issue I ran into that really kind of frustrated me. But it's with these jet streams here. No, it's just, in general, just movement here just is awkward. Like, the camera never wants to look straight down. And, like, if we're trying to, like, get through lasers... Okay, I got hit by one. But if we're trying to get through lasers here... It'd be nice to see the full extent of what I'm about to hit and have more control over what I'm going to hit. Like, not being able to go straight downwards. Like, I can only tilt downwards. And that tilt just makes it feel so, like, really awkward to actually fly through these lasers. Like, I can get through them now just because I had to adapt to... Oh, okay. I had to adapt to it, but... Like, this is as much as we can tilt. And then we gotta pray that what's under us is alright. And if I go to move the camera while doing all this, like, it actually somehow it just makes it worse. It's the controls of the... Oh, okay, the controls of the scummy ship just aren't all that great. And then you got the jet stream. So the idea is it can pull me, it will kind of... Okay. It'll kind of pull me... Okay. It'll kind of pull me into a direction. Okay. See, I can't even get into the jet stream. Okay. God, these controls are so bad. Okay, we got into the jet... Now. Goodness, that was just random. I didn't even realize I was in the jet stream yet. And that just happened. Anywho, we're gonna go into the jet stream. We're gonna try and boost. Oh, and then we're snapped back in. Goodness, this is buggy. So we're gonna go back to that jet stream, right? And oh boy. Okay, now we're not even getting into it. Like this, this area just feels like it was rushed or something. Like this area does not complement the controls of this ship very well. Okay, now I'm trying to show you guys a bug I found, but there's just an issue in just trying to get into the stream altogether. So let's see if I can coordinate what I'm trying to say here. Okay. Good God. I hate these controls. Okay, so now we're just kind of glitched into this. God, okay, that stream's too short. We're having enough trouble just getting the stream to trigger. Like, just getting into the stream does not feel good. And if we actually go to boost our ship while we're in here, it snaps us directly out of it. You expect it, when you're on rails, you kind of expect boosting yourself to kind of just make the rails you've been placed on to be a bit faster. But no, this just awkwardly snaps you into it. It's not seamless. It's like they designed this at the last second and we're like, you know, we need an area that looks kind of cool as for traversing the last few worlds. Let's put them in a claustrophobic space that these ship controls are just terrible in. And the other two Kingdom Hearts games, I didn't really care for the ship stages either, but they were lower in scope, I guess. So I didn't mind them so much, but I think they tried to make this feel like an open world kind of being able to fly around type of thing. So here's a longer jet stream. Okay. That camera angle just snaps. So now we're just in here. If I go to boost my ship, we're immediately out of the stream. And it's always confused me. It's like, oh, okay, so we tried to go into that jet stream, but then we just completely went out. Like, that's just... Like, hopefully I'm actually conveying just how glitchy and just poorly designed this area is. when you're not holding the controller, it's kind of hard to feel what someone's talking about. Maybe some of you have played the game and maybe you can relate to just this area just not feeling polished. Okay, I just got confused. What orientation are ships even in? I'm just really confused now. Are we just stuck in a weird diagonal direction? Did we actually just make a major bug in here? Like, this slant, like, is this area supposed to be slanting upward like this? And if so, how do we get back down? Okay, so we're looking down now. So I want to go down. Like, the fact we can't just aim straight downwards, goodness. Like, the ship stuff is way more suited for being outside. Like, if we're outside that space station, the ship controls aren't too bad. You don't have a lot of BS walls or anything else to collide into. I can't even get into the jet stream. Kind of have to just coast into it. And then you just might maybe get into there. Like, if I try to press the button that moves my ship at any given point in time, you just immediately get shot out of the jet stream and you crash into something. Oh boy, we're getting shot at. I don't care if the ship blows up though, like. So, frankly, there's not a lot of bugs or anything for me to really point out. This game is pretty well polished for the most part. And I think I might do like a separate video where I gripe about some other things in the game. Don't get me wrong, I like playing through all the Kingdom Hearts games. I, for the most part, like the story. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked it, feel free to like it, and yeah, hopefully I can at least get a video out every week. I kinda have neglected to put out anything the last 2 weeks, or 3 weeks, or I don't know how long it's been. One of the weeks I did do a game, but then it turns out the footage was corrupted, and I have limited time every week, so I couldn't really reshoot the video. So yeah, hopefully we have a video out next week, if I figure out what to do. And yeah, I'll see you guys next video.